Hello there and welcome to yet another edition of the Marathon Interview on Clearview TV. I am Ojon Bello. We normally bring you guests from different areas, from different sectors. Education, agriculture, education, environment, and so on and so forth. Today, I am bringing you a guest from the world of politics, to be precise, Nigerian politics. He is Fabiyi Oladimeji, former chief accountant, People's Democratic Party, PDP, at the national headquarters, Abuja. He's also the national president, Turaki Vanguard. Fabiyi Oladimeji is the deputy director, contract mobilization and support group of ATIKU'S presidential campaign organization. So join me in welcoming Fabiyi Oladimeji to our studio. Fabiyi, you're welcome.
Good morning, sir.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you again. I'm happy to be here.
And congratulations.
Thank you very much for our success, for our victory. It's a victory for Nigerians. And,
Are you sure?
It's a victory for Nigerians. You can see the jubilation everywhere since Atiku was declared the winner of the election.
But then, don't forget, if it had been Tambuwal, if it had been Saraki, there would be jubilation too.
Well, probably, yes, it wouldn't, but it wouldn't have been as much as this. Because Nigerians have been expecting, even before the build up to the primaries, all over the place, there has been this clamoring for Atiku.
Great.
Yes.
All right. Now, you are the national president of Turaki Vanguard.
Yes, that is.
Who is this Turaki? What is that organization?
Okay, thank you very much. It's the biggest political support group of His Excellency Atiku Abubakar that he formed when he was the vice president in 2002. You know, at that time, you know, there was this good rapport between him and his former boss, and it was advised that, okay, their party is there, it's good to have your own followers, and then he tried to put the group together, and I became the national president in 2010. I was initially the national organizing secretary, but in 2010, he single-handedly said, no, come and lead this group for me, and it's been on for quite a while now. We're known to all security agencies, police, EFCC, SSS, INEC. So it's been on. It's a very formidable group of His Excellency. That's the only group he has. Then others are now joining by free volition.
All right. Since democracy started in earnest in Nigeria, your principal, His Excellency Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, has been contesting, wanting to be president of, must he be president of Nigeria?
Well, thank you very much. If there's anything you can't take away from a man, when I mean man, I'm talking of man, woman, and any human beings, is their passion for something. Why? And I ask, why do people change? Why do people change jobs? Why do you feel you have to be working? Simply because you want to make a better life. You want to live well. You want to. So you can't really take. You cannot really take it away from him. Atiku is very passionate about Nigeria. He's passionate about this country. At some point, they said this country has done a lot for him. Here was an orphan at 14, no father, no mother, and then he went to school through scholarship of those days in the northern region, and then the country gave him a lot. He studied law, diploma level at ABU. He went to the modern elementary schools, and then he went into customs. He was recruited by the Nigerian police and posted to customs service. He rose to the level of the deputy controller of customs. This country, he believes this country has done a lot for him, and he has to give back to that country. So for him, and for those of us who are closer to him, it's not about desperation, but it's about patriotic zeal. It's about passion for fatherland, to deliver, to help the country move forward and to help people.
Good. In the recent primary election that took place in Adoke Amikemaka Stadium, Port Harcourt, money changed hands, money passed through hands, mostly American dollars. And the social media was very, very trendy about it, that Atiku doled out a lot of dollars to secure that position. Would that be correct?
No, that is not true. But before I go into details of that, I want to ask this question. Where on earth do you have politics without money? Where on earth do you have elections? Even in the Americas that we're talking about, even in Britain, there's a way they do it. Money still plays a vital role. And who does not spend money? All of them spend. I'm just surprised the way the opposition were talking about it. Can they clearly come out and say they didn't spend money during their primaries election? Apart from the fact that there's no how, because there are some logistic requirement that you have to spend money. You have to spend money on media, transporting your people from their place to the venue of the convention. You have to take care of their accommodation. You have to take care of their feeding and welfare generally. That was the money, and you can't run away from that as an aspirant. You just have to do that.
Not money to buy delegates?
No, not money to buy delegates. I don't know where that is coming from, and we knew when that was experienced. When that happened. When we experienced that in 2014. When during the APC primaries. I was a key player and I knew what happened then. But this PDP convention, let me tell you two things played out here.
Okay.
Nigerians and the PDP members understood the fact that they have to get it right. And by getting it right means that there must be level playing field. They must be able to choose right. And then ahead of time, they've seen Atiku as somebody that has the capacity, that has the wherewithal to take up this challenge. So it was easy for them. It was so easy for them when they got to the convention ground to really choose their candidate, their preferred candidate. And that was exactly what they did to Atiku. So who didn't spend money? Tambua spent money to bring people to that place. He's a delegate. Saraki spent money. So is Atiku. But these are logistic requirements that you need to put in place to make sure that your delegates who are going to vote for you are comfortable and they're well taken care of, which is normal in any political setting, or in any elections for that matter.
Okay. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who was for 8 years principal to your own principal,
yes,
will never want Atiku to be president of Nigeria. I am saying this authoritatively because at a time, maybe some years back, when Atiku scaled through primaries like this, or even made his intention known to contest to be the president of Nigeria, Obasanjo said, I did laugh. I remember you were my guest on a TV program,
yeah,
and you yourself now said you did laugh at Obasanjo.
That's true.
Now, what is going on? Why would Obasanjo have such disdain, such animosity towards Atiku?
Well, I really, sometimes when I'm asked these questions, I always want to take it from one simple angle. Human beings, we're bound to have differences, and we cannot always agree at every point in time. And I guess that is what has been playing out between Atiku and Obasanjo. I wouldn't know whether there is any, because I've asked these questions, I've asked His Excellency, what did you do to this man? And he said, as far as he's concerned, he has not wronged him, he has not done anything wrong, and he doesn't have a problem with the former president. But you can't rule out that maybe the former president had problem with him, and he expects that even if that happens, as gentlemen and somebody who had worked together, they should be able to trash out that. And beyond that, I think the way where Nigeria is going now, everybody has to come together to rescue this nation. I won't be surprised if by tomorrow President Obasanjo comes out and says, I'm supporting Atiku for one reason, sake of this country. We need to rescue this country. President Obasanjo may have said that in the past, but a lot of things happen in politics because we must be united to make sure that this country is rescued at this point in time. It's so bad that we're not united. It's so bad that we're having lots of challenges due to the failure and incapacity of the present administration. So everybody has to come together now. So, and I think that is, I'm expecting that to happen because former President Obasanjo that I know really loves this country and he can do anything to make sure that this country succeeds. So if going by that, I won't be surprised if by tomorrow he comes out and say yes, because the majority of the PDP members, majority of Nigerians are now saying Atiku is the answer to all these problems they're having. So President Obasanjo can see this, can see it from that angle to say, okay, let me give him my support. And I believe I hope he does, and when that is done, and then Atiku will come on board.
Now there is this message from one Williams Adelaja from Ibadan, because we circulated this announcement that you'll be coming for a recording and asked that why should Atiku, like, okay, I read it in the papers that Atiku will be visiting Obasanjo in Abeokuta. Must he, why is, it's like people, his own concern is like, we have turned Obasanjo to a teen god. I cannot be a president, I cannot be governor without going to Obasanjo. Now that Obasanjo is showing his animosity towards Atiku, why won't Atiku leave Obasanjo alone?
Well,
no, you have answered partly.
But let me go a little bit further. In every country, we have people that are known as or referred to as establishments. We have them in the U.S., the Kennedys, the Clintons, and so on and so forth. So we have them in Nigeria too. Obasanjo is an establishment in this country. People may not want to agree with me. And there's nobody. If you want to be president, you have every reason to go on consultation. He's the former president, 2 times former as head of state. So people like that, you need to consult them, if not for anything, for their guidance, for their wisdom, for their for support. And then former President Buhari did the same thing, despite their differences. You agree with me that they have their differences. They're never friends. They were never friends. But when it was time for him to go, he went there to visit him. He went to visit IBB. We know the history, the story between him and IBB, but he went. So I don't see anything wrong if today Atiku says I'm seeing. Moreover, he's now the flag bearer of a major political party and is facing general elections. He has, and in addition to that, he was his former boss. Look at when you listen to his acceptance speech. He paid tribute to Obasanjo because if not this man, probably I wouldn't have been one. Atiku only wanted to be governor for God's sakes, and this man said, "Come up, let me," and he made him vice president. He placed him on that national and global map. Today, anywhere he goes, former vice president of Nigeria, and he's being treated with that respect and recognition. So he holds Obasanjo that. Apart from the fact that he holds him that, and I think it's a good thing for Atiku. I want him to do that. Apart from the fact that I'm from Obasanjo, I'm Obasanjo's boy, I will want him to go and pay my father, Obasanjo, that courtesy and respect.
I guess you really need to be very, very careful here, because you are Obasanjo's boy and Atiku's boy.
They are both my father, they are both my leaders.
And my brother, you are already talking seriously like a politician that you are. All right. Now, you have been following Atiku for a long time. Now, we want to know, for how long have you known Atiku that you find yourself in a situation whereby you can talk authoritatively on him, more so on air?
Yes, thank you very much. My first contact with him was in year 2001. Then I'd already resumed as chief accountant at the headquarters of the party. And I remember at that time, one of those leaders that always listened to us as the party. When we have issues, we go to him. He will advise, he will guide, and then say, let it go this way. There was a very cordial relationship between him and the former and his boss at that time. So I started picking interest in him because 2 things were very, very dear to his heart, and I discovered those early. Number 1, he's passionate about youth development, and number 2, he's passionate about development generally. And you could see that during his time as the vice president, that then I discovered that he had this penchant, he has this ability to identify talent. The very first day he saw me, he said, "You are a leader in the making." I don't know where that came from. That was the first thing he told to me, and that really got into me. And ever since, we've had this relationship. He encourages me. He gives me assignment that will challenge you. I got to this point today because of things like that. Like, we just call you, go and do this. You feel you cannot do, but by the time you get there, you work extra hard, and he's a man who is always result-oriented. So when you come back and you perform, he'll pat you in the back and encourage you to do more. Even if you didn't really measure up, he'll still encourage you. That kind of things really endeared me to former vice president. And apart from that, when he is a man who is so humane, and he doesn't want to see you in pain. Even if you don't tell him, he looks at you in the face and say, "What is wrong with you?" And he'll quickly attend to. On so many occasions, he has rescued me, and he has rescued so many people that I know, but I can't mention names here. So here is a man who cares about this country, who cares about the people around him. And for me, I think it's worth staying with, it's worth fighting the battle with. And beyond that, is a warlord that when he's going to war, he doesn't leave his own people. When you follow him, when you are with him, when you are loyal, when you give him loyalty, he's loyal back to you. And I've seen that a couple of times. So, and I'm saying with all sense of responsibility that I am proud to be an ATIKU'S. And he has been a very wonderful mentor to me and to some of us who have been around him. And I'm living, when the state points to one of, he has said it that when any day I'm asked to say, point at one or two of your success story in terms of, he said, Ola is one of them. That means a lot to me. That means a lot to me. He said, you are one, when they say, who are those people? This is, Ola is one of them. So he has said that to me a couple of times. And then someone who listens to you, who is a good listener, listen to you when you have, even when you have a contrary view, he will not ever shout to you that. He will listen to you, learns. He told me one day that, see, if I cannot learn from you, whether you are my age mate or you are older or you are younger than me, you have no business being around me. So when you are there, you must up your game so that you can measure up. He tags you. He wants you to be there. He wants you to really know what you are doing. So, and then I think that's enough for me.
Oh. All right. The program is a marathon interview, and we are on the political turf, hosting Fabiyi Oladimeji, who is a former chief accountant of the People's Democratic Party, the national headquarters here in Abuja, and also national president, current one, of Turaki Vanguard. That's an organization put in place for former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Well, my guest, Fabiyi, is also the Deputy Director, Contact, Mobilization, and Support Group of Atiku Abubakar Presidential Campaign Organization. And I'm sure he's still basking in the euphoria of the victory in Port Harcourt. Now, can Atiku visit United States?
Okay, these questions have been coming up several times, and here is my own view. And number one, why can't Atiku visit America?
Good. We hear that he was involved in some cases, criminal cases in U.S., and he's been sought after.
There is something in America, I think it's MLAT. I don't know if I'm getting that. Is Mutual Legal Something Treaty that exists between Nigerian and American governments. This is where I want to start from.
Okay.
If an Atiku is wanted in America, because of this treaty, bilateral treaty between the government of the United States of America and government of Nigeria, Atiku would have been looked for, he would have been arrested, if truly that happens. Number two, a request was sent to the U.S. Department of State whether there was a criminal case against Atiku Abubakar. And the U.S. State Department came out to say, we have no criminal record or case against Atiku. Number three, if an Atiku is afraid of going to the United States, would he have applied for visa? On 3 occasions, Atiku has applied for an American visa. Somebody who is afraid of being arrested, somebody who knows he has issued in the U.S., will he go and ask for and apply for American visa?
Was it granted?
It was not granted because they said there was an administrative clause that it is only one African regional, whatever, in the U.S. department that can sort it out, and the person has not been appointed. So I'm just saying this to underscore this fact that somebody who knows that if I go to this state, I'll be arrested, would he have gone to apply for visa? Number three, why do rich men or wealthy men in the realm of Atiku, why do they travel outside their country? Number one, maybe for vacation. Number two, family ties. Atiku's family used to be in the U.S., but now they are relocated to Dubai. So, and when you look at all the wealthiest men and women in this country, America is not among the first 10 tourist destinations in the world. They would rather go to Seychelles, Hawaii, all this and all that. So if Atiku wants to go for vacation, he will go to where his families are. So when people say he cannot go, I find it so disturbing because There's no iota of truth in that. Now, beside that, what is this case all about? Atiku has never been indicted by any panel of inquiry, any court of justice in the United States of America. And if there's anyone, let them bring it out. It's just like the case of corruption they are talking about him. This man came out and challenged 180 million Nigerians March last year and said, if you have anything against me, please bring it out today. No single person, including you and I, sir, have been able to come out and say, Atiku, this is what you have done, and I'm taking you to court, and I'm going to get you prosecuted. Finally, this man left government since 2007. 2007 to today is almost 11 years. He has been traveling all over. He goes to UK, he goes to Dubai, he goes to everywhere all over Malaysia, anywhere he wants to go to. This man has never been invited by police. He has never been invited by the Department of State Security. He has never been invited by EFCC, not to talk of being prosecuted or arraigned in court of justice. So what are we talking about? So Nigerians should please wake up, and then they should not let them miss this opportunity that God has given us. We've missed it in 2014. We must not miss it in 2019, because another 4 years of hardship, of senseless killing, of economic downturn, of poverty will not augur well for this country. And that is why God has listened to Nigerians' prayers. He has brought in, given us Atiku Abubakar in the PDP.
Okay. We still go back to that area. But then now let's move on, because I don't want us to have any digression along your line of thought now. If you can boast of your principal,
yes,
I am not sure you can boast of whoever emerges as the running mate. I don't know if you are privy to the qualities your principal is looking for in selecting a running mate.
Thank you very much for these questions. A lot of people will agree that Atiku has penchant for picking talents, guys who are qualified. He has done that in the past, even when he was vice president. He brought in those who made that government of Obasanjo Atiku thick.
Most especially in the area of economy.
In the area of economy. And then I have no doubt that now that he's going to be at the helm of affairs, he will never fail to pick a competent, experienced, well-equipped person to be his running mate. But I know, what if there's anything I wanted, is for him to pick a younger person, and I know he's thinking in that direction, somebody who has vast knowledge in terms of economy, because we really need to. Atiku himself is a master economist, because he has proven that in the past, and he's still on top of it. As somebody who has the capacity to create 50,000 direct jobs, over 250,000 indirect jobs, who is the master job creator, he knows the impact of that on the economy. So I am sure, and Nigeria should just wait. Atiku will give us the best that have eluded this country in time past, more especially in the last 4 years.
Well, whether we like it or not, the present president, Muhammad Buhari, of course, has the people that believe in him so much. And if you ask some people to rate him, they will rate him very, very high in all sectors. Now, what are these new things Atiku want to bring that Buhari has not brought to Nigeria?
Well, Buhari, first and foremost, promised us change from economic downturn to economic prosperity. The question, has he been able to do that? No, he has not achieved it. So that's Atiku is coming to break that gap.
Atiku was with him when he was making that promise.
Yes, it was full of deceit. It was later we realized that they were deceiving Nigerians. They don't even have blueprints. They don't even have capacity. This government has shown that, this present ruling government has shown that they lack the capacity to fix this country. And when you are put in position of power, you are expected to fix it. So at that time, at some point, they even reach out to Atiku to support them with his own economic blueprint, which he did. But because of the internal politics, those who have, the fear of Atiku is the beginning of political wisdom in Nigeria.
Really?
And of course, it is. The fear of Atiku is the beginning of political wisdom in Nigeria. Atiku has no problem with the grassroots of this country. It's just few elites that always conspire so that he won't get there. And to God be the glory, that hurdle has been crossed. So they reached out to him, and he did. But in their caucus there, they went to those refers to as Kaba, went to meet president and said, hey, if you should implement this Atiku economic blueprint, it's going to get more money to fight you. Who told them? They tried to crumble the man's economy. Who told them that when they do that, Atiku will not be able to run for finance his election? How much does President Buhari has when he was running? God brought people like Atiku to come and support him financially to run that election. He came out and said he does not even have money to buy forms. Have you forgotten, sir?
Yeah, I remember.
So how much does he have? This is the mistake they made.
And one old
That
man
if Atiku blueprint is executed, is implemented, he's going to have money to fight you. Childish. And that was why he couldn't use those blueprints. And now Atiku is coming to fix the economy. Atiku will come and do those things that they don't have the capacity to do. And he has come up with 4-point agenda, which is called jobs.
Okay.
Jobs, as in J, jobs and employment. O, opportunities for the younger generation to excel, the middle class, even those who are already there, you'll be maintained. Then B, being united, because we have never been divided in the history of this country as we are. We're so afraid of each other, killings here and there. We're so afraid of one another. And of course, X, which is security. Everybody knows that we're having lots of challenges in terms of security. And in addition to that, it talks about restructuring. And what he's saying simply about restructuring is that, see, gentlemen, look at this, you can see the sincerity in this man. He knows he's going to be Nigerian president. And he's talking of devolution of powers. And he's saying the federal government is too overburdened. You need to shed this weight. Let's begin to look inward from the state, generate your own, control your resources, generate your own revenue, and pay something to the federal. Federal government has no business in agriculture. They have no business in transportation, even education. So just stay with foreign affairs, financial regulation, defense, and this is what Atiku is talking about. So somebody who knows, who has been there, he knows what it is. Even as number 2, he knows what is there, what is there as vice president. He's now saying, no, because the structure is so bad. Atiku will lay those templates. He's only coming to rewrite and reset the orders of this country and to leave legacies that will last this country.
Agnes Okechukwu sent in the message, and I will just take it verbatim. Is Atiku ready for EFCC? Because anybody against Buhari automatically becomes a visitor to EFCC premises.
We are waiting for them. Atiku is waiting for them, for the EFCC to come. But in the first instance, why would the EFCC come and after? If the EFCC has something against him, why did they wait till this time? Over 11 years? Let me say this, although it's in the past. When the heat between him and the former boss was very, very on, if at that time his former boss had something to lay, was able to lay his hands on something to indict it, he would have done it. We've had 2 successive governments after that. Yaradua came. If he had something, would you think he wouldn't have used it? President Goodluck Jonathan came. If he has, he would have used it. Buhari has been there for almost 4 years. They should come up with it. Yes, this is not the court of law. So if there's anything they have, let them come up with it. So there's no need. Atiku is not afraid of any EFCC because he has no business with EFCC.
Now, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has been saying this, that President Muhammadu Buhari has not run any business in his lifetime.
Is it not true?
He should point at. Is that not hate speech?
It's not an hate speech. It's the reality. It's the statement of fact. If he has done any business, he should let us know. We know those who have run businesses. Atiku talks about his own. He's running. He has a university. His business. Ricogado is business. Faro Water is business. Printing press is business. Maritime services is business. And he has run this successfully. That Mr. President even attested to it.
Yes.
So it's a statement of, it's never an it's a statement of fact. If Mr. President had done any business and he has done his process, he should come up with it and let us see. We're only told that he has some cows, though. It's his business too, but I doubt if that will sell for Nigerians.
But
so Nigeria,
that he has a business.
Which
he has cows.
Atiku has cows. So, see, sir, let me tell you something. Where we are in Nigeria today, we need a man who understands those dictates and dynamics of economy. Nigeria is an enterprise where idea rules. We need someone who can run this country like business. We've never had. I can give you this analysis, but for the sake of time, look at all the presidents we've had in the past. How many of them are businessmen? I've run businesses. Without mentioning names, we know. It's right, and that has been responsible for where we are in this country today. We need someone who can, whether you want to give it to Trump or not, see what he's done in America. We need someone who will take this bull by the horn and run this country like a business. Who can turn 1 naira to 2 naira, 20 naira to 40 naira. Unfortunately, we've not had. Now we are going to have one. And I pray that God help us.
Amen. Now, how will you, I have a question I want to bring to you, but first of all, let me give in something like a prologue before the question. How will you rate gubernatorial election in Osun State, in which Adeleke could not win, and Oyetola, what's his name, eventually?
That was a total charade. It was a charade. It was a mess.
Because your party lost.
It was a mess of our democracy. My party won. It was a mess of democracy. And thank God that we have restitution in appeal, in tribunals, at the courts. Let's wait for the outcome of that. PDP will take it back because APC knew what they did, and it's the use of what is it called, incumbency. So we're waiting. We'll see, and then that will be. It was a mess of our democracy.
Now, if you say it was a mess, EU said so too. European Union, US, and UK.
Of course,
they said so.
Yes.
Now, some Nigerians, if not many, are becoming apprehensive. That is it not a pointer to what will happen in 2019?
Yes, it is indeed. We're worried. The APC government is getting more desperate by the day, and they're ready to do anything. We have all sorts of things they're planning with the INEC, with the security. But I know that you can only rig and rig successfully where you are popular. That's number one. Number two, Nigerians know what they want. This government has failed. This government has not done anything to enjoy the support and vote of Nigerians. And that's why you see them getting this desperate by every minute. 2019, I know God will intervene, as He has always intervened in the story of Nigeria. Nigerians will not allow that to happen. Let them bring all the military in the world. Nigeria will speak, and they will speak loud and clear. Everybody knows they've rejected this government. Even they know they have been rejected. And now, to add salt of money jury, PDP brought ATIKU'S. That is giving them the only headache the APC government is having today, the only toothache, the only stomach ache they are having today is ATIKU. They tried all they could to make sure that ATIKU did not emerge. But God is a greater God, is greater than everybody. And He's listening to the cries of Nigerians because He knows that Nigerians are suffering. I had an experience in Kano recently. This Meshai on the road, and if you go there and you want to buy Indomie, they will ask you, Buhari Indomie or... They say Buhari Indomie or ATIKU Indomie.
I think Indians are manufacturing Indomie noodles.
So let me tell you what they mean. That when you tell them Buhari, they'll give you the one that does not have egg, the one that does not have, what is it that you put that makes it sweet?
Onion.
It doesn't have all that one. And when you ask for Buhari tea, and they say it's Buhari tea, they'll give you that Buhari tea does not have milk and sugar. It's just tea like that. But when you ask for ATIKU Indomie, it will have egg, sausage, everything inside.
Fabiyi,
that is where we are now.
You are already a politician.
I'm talking to you from experience.
Okay. Okay. All right. I have personally been thinking about this because many Nigerian political leaders, okay, some could be very ethnical. How have you been successful with this northerner? You are a Yoruba man. Paul Ibe is a southerner.
Yes.
Show-me is a southerner.
Yes.
And you people are holding the publicity team, the campaign team, very, very strong. How are you people surviving this northern politician?
You see, if there's anything that, the subject here is ATIKU, all right? And if there's anything that is going on for ATIKU that the whole world is acknowledging, is the tribalized nature. You know, you can only be comfortable where your principal or your subject makes you comfortable. Around Atiku, you dare not play a tribal game or ethnic game. You dare not. Even people from his own place. And that's why when he wants to speak, he's so sensitive to the point that when he wants to speak with his own people, he speaks in English. And he knows that you are there. Atiku will never speak outside of Fufude. He will speak in so that everybody can hear what he's saying. So we are comfortable with this. And then he has made us so comfortable. And we're happy, you know, being with him. We're happy to work with him. Because he's one of the greatest tribalized Nigerians we've ever seen in our time.
With what you are saying, something just came to my mind now.
Yes.
Loyalty of you people to Atiku and Atiku embracing all of you.
Yes.
There is a woman that has been very, very loyal to Atiku. Okay. That even dared current President Muhammadu Buhari. That's Mama Taraba.
Yes.
Good. Ajia Al-Hassan. Now, Al-Hassan is with UDP. Now, Atiku is with PDP. And one of the allies of Atiku is Ishaku, Governor Ishaku of Taraba State.
Yes.
And it is just good for Atiku to support Al-Hassan in UDP as a gubernatorial candidate. How does your principal intend to manage those two areas, except if you are telling me that maybe UDP is going to align with PDP?
Thank you very much for this question. Former Minister Aisha Al-Hassan is one of the core loyalists of His Excellency Atiku Abubakar. And then they've come a long way. They've done quite a lot of things together politically. But as of today, His Excellency Atiku Abubakar is in PDP. And she was in APC at some point. But now in but now in the UDP. That is the kind of politics we play in this country. She was actually victimized for her support, and everybody has seen what happened. What I can only say is to wish her every success where she is. There will always be a connect. I won't say more than that.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. On the final note now, I want you to talk to Nigerians on behalf of your principal. Maybe Atiku was supposed to be our guest here. He could not come. He now said, okay, Fabiyi, I want to talk to Nigerians on my behalf. You have the camera.
Thank you very much. It's a very good opportunity for me to say this, and I've always said it. Nigeria today is at a crossroad. And then a lot of things are actually wrong with our country. Today, we need a man who can rescue this country. Today, we need a man who has the capacity, who has the experience, who have the dexterity to turn the fortune of this country around. We shouldn't be deceived. The present government lacks everything to fix this country. And then when you hear things that have been trending out there, is about who can rescue this country, who can bring this country back to glory. And I say with all sense of responsibility that that person is His Excellency Atiku Abubakar. Those of you who have collected your PVC, I know you did so to be able to vote out APC. Use that PVC, is your right, is your power to vote in a party and a president that will turn around your fortune for good. Atiku Abubakar stands in that gap for you. He will be loyal to you. He will deliver the good. He will stand by you. He will work with you. I want you to work with Atiku Abubakar as the next president in 2019.
Thank you very, very much for finding time to come to our small studio, Clearview.
This is not small. This is wonderful. I'm happy to be here to see this. And I'm happy to be an alumni of this place because we are going to have an alumni very soon. Yeah.
All right.
Those of us who are coming, who are the first
set.
So you must have an alumni. When we hit 100, we'll do a party.
Okay.
Yes. Please make note.
That time.
I'll be proud to be an alumni.
maybe you would have been a president.
By the grace of God. By the grace of God.
Thank you very much, Fabiyi.
Thank you very much, sir.
So nice having you in our
Thank
studio.
you for your support.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Fabiyi, Oladimeji, has been talking extensively on many issues, which include the Turaki Vanguard and why his principal will want to be the president of Nigeria. Nigeria has done a lot to Atiku, according to him, and Atiku believes that he must pay back, plow back into the system. Money squandering at the elections, at the primary, they said, well, you have to transport some people, you have to pay for accommodation. So how do you do that without money? On OBJ's attack, when I was drafting these questions, this particular one gave me a kind of worry, because I know Fabiyi to be a son, in quotes, of Obasanjo, and again to Atiku. So I said, I must ask him this question. And as a politician that he is, he wriggled out of it. Now, while Atiku had to go and visit Obasanjo, what he submitted on this program was that Atiku remains grateful to Obasanjo. After all, he was to be governor of Adamawa State, and Obasanjo said, okay, Atiku, come over, come and be vice president, which of course was more dignifying than being a governor. Well, on the posers the Atiku campaign has been raising, yes, he defended it that, well, politicking has started. You have to be able to say that this is what you can offer. And while saying what you can offer, there is no way you will not go into comparison with the opponent. Well, he also spoke about what he perceived to be the qualities his principal would be looking for in choosing a running mate. And he likened what happened in Osun gubernatorial election to what we'll be expecting in 2019. And he said, well, it's a good thing the courts are there to handle some delicate issues. Well, once again, I thank you very much, Fabiyi, for finding time to come. Fabiyi is the Deputy Director, Contact, Mobilization, and Atiku Abubakar Presidential Campaign Organization. Until next time, when I bring you yet another guest on the Marathon Interview TMI Online, I am Oladimeji. Bye for now.